Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Time for a rum and smoke. I mean coke.
Huh?
What's going on, freaks? Yep, he's moving around. Yep. Blue, hey Blue! Can you hear me through the walls? With those ears sticking up? Who knows? Wow, how's everybody doing? How are the freaks tonight? Hold on, I gotta get into the gray zone. There we go, there we go. Hey, thanks Lisa Valenzuela. Look at that, it matches my shirt. Check it out. Isn't that amazing? Absolutely incredible. Now if I just had a pink shirt. That's right, the freaks come out at night. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of crazy comments under that last video that I made. I'm going to give you an example. Let's see. Yeah. All right, so you know that surveillance footage that we're looking at? It's like this. See, you know how you can put a camera and it's tilted a certain way, so everything's off like that, right? And he said, "Hey, you tried to rotate it to make it match your story." Okay, well anyways, look at you could if you took something like this, because that's the way that like Google Earth is always flat to the ground, right? Like it's perpendicular. If I was to overlay this on that, it would suck. You would have like things that are completely in the wrong spot. So you got to rotate it. Like for here, I'll show you. I'll just do the whole damn thing. And this person, and they made a passive aggressive comment. After they made that, they said, "You'll probably want to make another video." And I said, "You're ridiculous." And they go, "How dare you treat a sub like that?" Isn't that the most classic passive-aggressive behavior you've ever seen? They make this whole post and they go, "You'll probably want to make another video." Hey, thanks, Tree. Yeah. No, I won't be wanting to make another video, okay? I won't be wanting to make one. Let's see. And then I remove them from the channel. As soon as somebody, when they're passive aggressive and they try to turn it on you, they're never going to work out. That's somebody that'll never work out on a channel. I've learned that over the years. You know what I mean? Isn't that incredible? Like somebody goes, I can't even read it to you because I don't have it anymore. I gotta open up. I'm trying to open up Photoshop really fast. Right. They go, you'll probably want to make another video. You don't think that's passive aggressive right there? Give me a break. Jesus. No, I won't be. As a matter of fact, I know what I'm doing. You know, I think through those. I even mentioned that in the video. All right, I'm just gonna put it in here. View extras, right? So this would be like Google Earth, right? And so what I'm doing is rotating. For example, like here, let's say this layer right here. Let me just put that over here. Let's say this was on here, and I'm trying to line something up. Let's say this was a night shot or something. Here, I'll show you. So let's make this one really like darker or something. You know, let's say it looked like that. And then I was going to try to line up something on another image on top of it, and then try to make it, you know, see if I can line it up. Hold on. Wait, do I have the same? Oh, I have the same one twice. Yeah, hold on. I meant to have this one next. So this is kind of like how the surveillance footage was like this. It's always it's like at an angle. So let's say I was doing this and I was trying to, you know, let's say there was a light. Matter of fact, I'll just draw one. I'll hide that layer, and let's just pretend that there was a light, for example. We'll make it just pure white. What the hell's going on with this? Not letting me, is there something open somewhere? Or? Huh, bizarre. Oh wait, because I turned it off, there you go. So yeah, let me hide that and then go to this layer, and let's put like a big ball. Let's say there was 2 lights right there on this building, right? So there was something like that. Let's just say that those are 2 lights. And then let me put the same things on this one, like that. What he's saying is I shouldn't rotate this one, that I'm just trying to make it match what I want you to say. And no, that's not what I'm doing. So if you take this one right here, and let's say you add a little transparency to it, if I really wanted to do a comparison, I would have to straighten out the top image, and I'll show you. So you go transform, rotate, because it's at an angle, and watch. See, you would have to rotate it like that, and then you could probably move it around and say, look, okay, yeah, that's the same one. You know, you could do it like that. That's how you would do it. You would rotate it either side. You could rotate the image below, or you could rotate the one on top. I know, Barry, I just did that, Barry. Thanks, Barry. Yeah, so right there, how it's add transparency. Good Lord. Anyways, so as you can see now when I go like that, you know, you can see that it's close. Like if I'm trying to line it up to see if it's reasonable to be the same thing. That's what you would do, all right? So that's what you're doing in the other, like with the, let me go back to, let's see, back to like number, I think it was yesterday, wasn't that right? No, the day, yeah, there it was. No, must have been on the 17th. Right. All right, so when you take, that's the image with the lights on it. See, it's this image right here. See how that's not really lined up right, the camera? Because when you have surveillance cameras, people aren't thinking, oh boy, I better have this completely square to the ground. So you have it like that, and see how it's kind of everything's at an angle, like the cars and everything. So if you were going to make this sort of looking like it's flat on the ground, what you would have to do is rotate it like this. So about like that. See how now it's looking flat, where you have, you know, you're basically standing and the roof of the car is flat, the rest of the roofs are flat, everything is flat. That's how you make that look normal. And if you look, see how those lights are now kind of parallel at the top there? I mean, it could be, you know, a little different like this or like that, you know, who knows, right? But it definitely isn't like that. That's not square to the ground. That means the road up there is literally going like this in that image. So if you're trying to make it match up to a Google Earth image, that's what you'd have to do. Because when you go to Google Earth, it's flat, square to the ground. So when he was like, this person said, oh, you can't rotate it. You're just trying to make it look like it matches what you're doing. And that just isn't true. Huh? Yeah, we know. Yeah, opacity. Yeah. We know. I've been doing that for 1,000,000 times. Hey, why'd you remove that? He didn't say anything wrong there. You don't have to, did you remove him from the channel? Alpha channel layers, that's the transparency layer. How do I? Oh, he must have got timed out or something. I don't know what you're talking about, Zozo. Yeah, they know it was a, oh, you mean the car that was at the top? They know it was a pickup truck because that's when not a pickup truck, I mean a garbage truck, because that's when they knew that the garbage truck would be there, plus they verified it, he told me, with another surveillance footage showing the same vehicle at the same time driving by. Okay? And I absolutely believe what he said. And if you don't want to believe it, that's just because you don't want to. Oh, there it is. I'm trying to find the alarm that's going on. And I'm not talking to you specifically, just people. Right? And so I guess we could go to Google Earth on that really fast. Go down here. I'll show you what I did. So you go to Google Earth right here, but then you have to go to Google Maps. And then right in this area is where that image was. You know, I was actually thinking later if you could go right around this corner, like right in here. I mean, that's really close right there. I mean, because the corner of that light is right there. So if you could sort of go backwards a little bit and just kind of like right in this area, and then pick the 2007 shot. I mean, that's closer to it. And if you could just go one little space more, maybe, but I don't think it works. Yeah, so almost like that. But that's the house that had the dots on it. But and then that house gets in the way. So the problem is you have to be like right over here. And maybe it'd even be better if you could move it up a little bit. If you could somehow get on that side of the street, but I don't know. What I was just using though is just like right here, just because it's close, right? I mean, it's right there to the left. It's not perfect or anything. But you notice how everything's perpendicular to the ground in the shots here. So if you take that and you put that into Photoshop, I guess it is on that one. So I put it below it. Not really sure what's going on. Yeah, like in the background there. So it'd be like this. So you have to load it up, line it up like that. And as you can see like I'm putting these two lights on that house. And I guarantee you the lights are parallel with each other. Right? They're not like, if you rotated it, it'd be weird. One light was lower, one was less, but it could even just be the windows right there of that house. So you go like that. Let's say probably more about like this, maybe a little bit bigger. Like right there. And then if you see that, now look at it. Now this car right here, or a garbage truck, could be driving from way back there and then heading this direction. You see how easy that is? And if he wanted me to say, this is what he wanted me to do. Gray, just do the overlay the way I want you to. And it would be like this. This is what he wanted me to do. Keep everything the same so that he could say, look, those lights are at that house, but now look, the flashlight's down here. It's coming from over by his yard. You see that? Look it. But you can just see right here that it doesn't work. Look at these cars. If they were out on the street, they're up in the air, right? So you got to rotate it around like that so that these are perpendicular to the ground, and then you move this over like that, and it's probably, I would say, probably more like this, okay? Just like this, and there's the vehicle coming around, and if you go up behind there, that would be back here, and this is where the dump truck is. Now, apparently Seth has said the same thing as well. What it actually verified that the garbage was extra heavy. Who said anything about the garbage extra heavy? You know, I mean, somebody said that today somewhere, and who even knows anything about that? You know, like what does that mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hopefully Barry didn't get removed. Are you still there, Barry? Looked like all your comments got deleted. But I'll just say this once on here tonight. On this channel, everybody help support the channel, and if you can, that'd be great. If you can't, then you can't. But if you're able to help support the channel, I would really appreciate it. Okay, thank you very much, and on to the show. Okay, I'm going to play we're going to switch over to a different case right now, though. We're going to do the Seminole County, Florida carjacking. I mean, that thing was just absolutely nuts. So you guys remember the carjacking, Aguas Vivas drove up here, and I forgot her first name, but Miguel is the husband. She drove up here in her vehicle, and when she drove up here, she was rammed by another vehicle right here, and then her vehicle then was at this intersection, somebody got out of a car and held a machine gun and got into her car, then drove her away, and she eventually got shot and killed, and her car set on fire, and she was like, riddled with bullets, like right around in this area down here. But then it turns out that the green car that was following them, the green car that was following her, is a vehicle that was towed back in March. And then the tow truck driver of that vehicle was murdered just a day before Aguas Vivas, which is absolutely crazy. Then it turns out that Miguel, Aguas Vivas's husband, on the way, what was it? Apparently during the ramming of the vehicle, she called him to say that she was being rammed, and then he said, well, just don't get out of your car. But none of them called 911, so it makes you think that something nefarious is going on. And then when he later told police that she was going up there to visit family. Thank you, 1L Michelle. That she was going up there to visit family, and law enforcement could find no family members up there. So again, this vehicle that was following, the green vehicle, was towed from a parking lot, an apartment complex, because it was parked illegally. Then obviously the owners retrieved the vehicle, and then after they retrieved the vehicle, later, like a month later, they went and killed that tow truck driver. I mean, it's absolutely insane, isn't it? Yeah, so they killed the tow truck driver a day before August Vivas. Let me get my notes out here. Hey, thanks so much, brown-eyed girl. Da 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 da. Yeah, so the tow truck driver's name was Juan Luis Cintron Garcia. The Catherine is the Aguas Vivas, and her husband, his name is, I just said it a second ago, Miguel, right? So anyways, after that happened, the event happened and she's found dead and everything. Nobody called 911. The police called the phone number on the back of the vehicle, which is right here. Look at this. So let me show you this video again, just so you can all see it. It's right here. This is the guy with the machine gun pulling up to the vehicle, telling her, hey, whatever he said. We don't know what he said. Then he gets into the vehicle, has her go over to the passenger seat, and he drives away. Now he gets in the back seat though. So obviously she stays in the driver's seat and has her do what he wants from behind holding the machine gun. Then she does a U-turn right here. Okay? But anyways, so I already explained how the car drove away and she ended up being killed. But here's another surveillance shot of the vehicle. So a female detective called this number here. And guess who it went to? It went to Miguel, the husband, which kind of makes sense. It's their car. They're trying to sell it. I mean, it makes absolute sense. And then so it goes to Miguel, and Miguel answers, and Louis, the brother of Catherine, is with him, and they're talking. And this female detective says, "Why don't you guys come up to Seminole County?" So they go, "Sure." And then on the drive up to Seminole County, Miguel called a mutual friend of theirs, a female, whose husband is a Orange County police officer. And then he told him, Miguel told this guy who it was that called him, what the detective's name. And then this guy, this police officer, looked her up on a called the God, what the hell is the name of that now? Something it's like a name of a person. It's not popping into my head. Where is that? Wife, Francisco find out their wife illegally. The David system, right? So it's called the David system, and they looked her up, got her all of her personal information, and all the little things about her on the drive up there. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. And law enforcement found this out because they got Miguel's phone and they found that information on there. What were they going to do with that information? Threaten her, the female detective? Either way, the Estrella is the guy, the police officer in Orange County that was a family friend, and he was arrested. Apparently he's out on bond at this point. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at now. And then today there's another press conference. Hey, thank you so much, Julie S. You guys want to watch that press conference now? I fixed some of the audio, shortened it up quite a bit, and they actually have made have some suspects and made some arrests. All right. Gotta go find it. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. This will be the third update that we're providing on the Catherine Aguas Vivas murder case, kidnapping case. And, you know, what's incredibly important is that we continue to advise the public as timely as we can as this case evolves. Over the past week, many of the experts that the news channels have brought in to talk about complicated and sophisticated cases like this have been absolutely correct. Over the past week, our detectives have been working with our judiciary, subpoenaing records from phones, other pieces of evidence, video evidence from crime scenes, and we're still waiting for a lot of that information to come back. We knew that initially Catherine had been traveling north from Homestead. I think the initial report that we had relayed to you that her husband, Miguel, had provided information to our detectives initially that she was coming up to visit family members. We said at the time we did not know of any family members that were located in the area. We've since located at least 2 family members, but neither one of them were expecting a visit from Catherine at the time. When she was on her way...
So now they have found family members up there, but they weren't expecting her, so that was a lie regardless. Okay.
Traveling up here probably around 4 p.m. in the afternoon when she was probably in the area of downtown Orlando on I-4, there was likely a communication, a phone call that occurred through a FaceTime communication. We had reported that the husband, Miguel, had provided his phone and was cooperative, but we thought that there was a lot of details that he was leaving out, is what I said at the last news conference. Her brother, Louis, has also been providing information and also gave his telephone up voluntarily for forensic examination and actually was conducting, by his words, his own independent investigation. He did not contact law enforcement to do that, but he reached out from a computer that was connected to an iPhone through an iCloud account and found a contact that looked like it was the last person that Catherine had spoken with. And then, by his report, he called that person and he said he did not know who that person was. He screenshotted an image of the person that he called. We have later identified that person. I'm going to call him Giovanni for now. There's going to be a lot of names here, but I'm going to call him Giovanni. We'll release his full name at the conclusion of this press conference. He takes a still photo, does not know who the person is, and sends it to our detectives. The forensic examination of his phone shows a greater picture of not only the person that he sent us the photograph of, but he was actually in FaceTime. So it's a FaceTime photograph of Louis talking with this person who we now know to be Giovanni. We identify Giovanni by taking the photograph that is contained in the image that is released, running it through a database called Faces that's run in Pinellas County by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, and it matches with 98.6% a 2019 arrest in Orange County, a booking image that identifies the person as Giovanni. Giovanni and his girlfriend, will use her last name for this, as Soto. They reside in Castleberry. As detectives are awaiting a lot of the investigative reports to come back on the phone tolls, photographs, 417 cameras, all of these things, we ultimately, through surveillance, established probable cause to conduct a search warrant of the home in Castleberry where Giovanni and his girlfriend Soto live. We conduct the search warrant after Giovanni and Soto leave the residence. We go inside and ultimately find fentanyl, a gun, the gun not a 10 millimeter, and likely not related to this particular crime. And ultimately, Giovanni is facing charges for that. While we're conducting the search warrant, we get contacted by our federal partners at HSI that Soto, the girlfriend of Giovanni, and an occupant of the house in Castleberry that we're executing a search warrant on, takes and accepts delivery of 3 kilos of cocaine after it was mailed in through the mail. United States Postal Service intercepted that. A delivery was made in Osceola County, where Soto collects that delivery. She is arrested, facing federal charges, and currently incarcerated in Osceola County under a federal hold looking at that. Giovanni is facing Seminole County charges of trafficking fentanyl, and then we will release specific details and ask for the public's assistance to help us locate him. We've got his photo. We're going to put a photo up on the screen later in this news conference. Going back to the vehicle, I said that the green Acura was incredibly unique. There were 3 in the state. 2 were salvaged. There was only 1 that was out there, but there was no license plate on the Acura. In a previous news conference, I said it was legitimately owned by a family in Castleberry. They sold it to a dealership or traded it at a dealership. It went to an auto auction and then ultimately ended up in a buy here, pay here that does a lot of their marketing and sales on Facebook Marketplace. When they post that on Facebook Marketplace, a person with a profile name of Jordan LaTroy reaches out, does not speak English, and then ultimately shows up at the car dealership to purchase that green Acura. The profile photograph on the Facebook profile that's used to communicate with the buy here, pay here dealership, we'll put an image up on the screen here of that profile picture. Back one slide. And you can see.
Look at that. That's crazy. I mean, look at that. That's his profile picture. Yep, that's the same person. Yep, they got it.
It appears that the profile picture taken in January is somebody wearing exactly the same clothes, or what appears to be exactly the same clothes as our shooter. A backtrack of a phone number that is given with the purchase of the green Acura. And I remember I had said in the previous news conference that the purchaser never came back to finalize the deal, is why there was no tag ever registered to the vehicle. A phone number that was used in that communication links back through an Orange County Sheriff's Office burglary report of somebody with the name of Jordanish Torres Garcia.
He has the same
We'll
shirt
put his
on.
photograph up there. Jordanish Torres Garcia. Again, the name used in that profile is Jordan LaTroy. The phone number that he uses links back to his legitimate legal name, Jordanish Torres Garcia, or as he goes by, Jordan, 28 years old. He had an active felony warrant for weapons possession, and with the assistance of the U.S. Marshals, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, we now have him in custody here at the Sheriff's Office. We arrested him in Orange County as he was walking in to a business on Orange Avenue, south of I think it's Oak Ridge, a couple miles south of Oak Ridge. And this photograph is a photograph that was taken at the time of the arrest just after noon today. Again, he is here at our office being interviewed for his connection in this crime. Now, back to the comparison of photographs, please. We can go back to that.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do a recap of it. I mean, I recapped the beginning part, and you just have to pay attention to this part. Hey, thank you, Kami. Yeah, I mean, it's just, what's cool about this is it's like their full investigation. He's explaining it all. And this is how it should be. This is what I think it should be. I mean, it allows people to understand. I mean, it's this very complicated case with a whole bunch of moving parts. I don't know if they explain why the tow truck driver was killed yet, though. I have no idea. Hey, thank you so much, Amber Maiden. Thank God most criminals are not smart. Well, ain't that the truth?
I'm identifying him as a person of interest because when it comes to legal cases, that's probably the safest thing to call him. But his phone number is matching the phone number that was given with the person who purchased the green Acura. The profile that is connected to him, the image on the right or in front of what looks like a location, a tourist location in Orlando, is the profile image that he has had up there since January. And then, of course, the photograph of the crime scene of what he's wearing looks to me like identical. It's identical.
What a cold-blooded monster.
So I don't know how strong you can emphasize a person of interest. He's not going to be released. He has federal charges that he's going to be held on, and this investigation will continue. All of this is without yet getting the tolls and the records that we have subpoenaed out there.
Yeah, it's probably true, Barry. It's similar to like Lori and Chad Daybell. Like if you literally pitch the story of Lori and Chad Daybell saying, "Hey, thanks so much, Natalie from CA," just when you think this case couldn't get any crazy. Yeah, I mean, every single press conference it got crazier and crazier, didn't it? Yeah, but Lori and Chad Daybell, I mean, imagine walking in and saying, "Listen, okay, I know this sounds weird. It sounds weird. Listen. Okay, so you got this couple, and they believe that zombies really exist. And, okay, now here's the thing. Once they deem somebody to be a zombie, the only way to free the soul from limbo is to kill the physical being of the zombie. Then the souls are freed. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to have this mom who then has both of her kids killed and then her husband by a brother who believes in all this wacky stuff, okay? Yeah, this guy named Alex, he's crazy. So he believes in all this stuff, right? And then we're going to have, see what I'm saying? I mean, it just goes on and on. I mean, it would sound so stupid. The guy would just go, "What? What the hell are you talking about?" Just like this one.
We still don't know yet who the other occupant in the green Acura is. We'll continue to work that angle of the investigation. But again, this is great police work, great investigative follow-up, a collaboration between...
Fantastic. I mean, these guys are money. I mean, this is how you do it.
The FBI, the DEA.
And that's Florida for you. You see the difference there between Florida and New York or California or any of those wacko places?
The Orange County Sheriff's Office, the Osceola...
When I say wacko places, I mean places that are just really soft on crime. They don't really give a damn.
County Sheriff's Office, HSI, and our media partners who have been doing an outstanding job keeping this on the forefront of everyone's attention, front and center of what's going on. The communication that Lewis has provided us was less than forthcoming. Still, Lewis and Miguel being the husband, Lewis being the brother, are not suspects.
Welcome up there to Julie S. I think I missed that one. It slid by there. But welcome to the freaks.
We're not charging them at this time. But there again, Lewis's communication with us was that he talked to this person on the phone, which we now know to be Giovanni. He tells us, Lewis tells us, that Giovanni says that Catherine was up here to deliver money and other stuff for a friend. Now, again, I'm not going to speculate, but he says to us she was up here to deliver money and other stuff for a friend. And again, person of interest, Jordan Torres Garcia, is in custody here at the sheriff's office, is being interviewed right now by detectives.
He's not a person.
The other
of
person of interest we're looking for is Giovanni. We'll release Giovanni's full information, and we will have media packets that kind of summarize as much as we can. Again, incredibly complicated investigation that has twists and turns, but in just about a week, I think that there's great progress in this investigation without getting a lot of the court documents and records back yet. When those records come back, I think it's going to be able to put a lot of the pieces of the...
Yeah, I wonder why they can't just mention... I mean, I'd like to know what connection the tow truck driver has, though. Have they mentioned... I mean, I don't know if that comes up in the questions or not. I didn't listen to every single bit of it. I hate listening to the whole thing, and then you do a show and you got to listen to the whole thing again. I just got it and fixed the audio and then pumped up the audio level of the questions being asked so you guys can hear them. And it was only coming out of one mic, so it was like the right-hand side, so I made it stereo.
Puzzle that are still outstanding together. So with that, again, this is an ongoing investigation. I will try to answer as many questions as I can possibly answer.
Hey, thank you.
What? Oh, I didn't boost that one up. Why did he target? Well, Catherine, I think. Let me see.
The direct connection between Jordan and Catherine has not yet been established.
Okay. Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? And the first question is...
I think that we have established a clear connection between Catherine's brother and Giovanni.
Oh, really? Okay, so Lewis.
And we have...
That's right, because he called a number... Well, I don't know if you can have a connection there, because Lewis called a number that his sister, I thought, talked to. I don't know.
Not made the connection yet with Jordan as far as this. So to answer the question of why, if this is our shooter, why he would target her, I can't answer that question yet.
And similarly, between Jordan and the tow truck driver.
Oh yeah, now he's mentioning the tow truck driver. Let's see.
That was shot the night before.
Yes. That those connections will largely be based on the evidence that we get back from phones and records and computer records and documents. But again, no further information on the connection with the tow truck driver at this time with this.
Okay, all right.
What about Giovanni and Jordanish? No connection?
No, Donna.
Not that we have right now.
Does Jordan have any known gang or otherwise connection?
I mean, if you want, we'd listen to that first part again. It's only 14 minutes long, and then really, then I will take notes. Okay, but I just wanted to listen to it.
Well, listen, he's wanted for gun charges out of Puerto Rico, right? And I think that although there's not a whole lot documented other than that, it's fair to say he's got a lot of connections that are probably illicit and illegal. But we'll get that record back. I mean, we didn't even know where he was until
It's already been needed a chart, Laura.
noon today. So now that we have him, it'll be based upon what he says in this interview. But he's a bad guy. There's no doubt about it.
Do you have any idea how long they've been operating in Florida?
Well,
Yeah, we already know that Barry. We've covered this whole case from the beginning, Barry. We know that he was at the house, and yeah.
the only thing that we know for sure is the photograph.
And we said the same thing, that they probably looked him up the same way. You probably haven't seen any of the other shows that we discussed it. We've gone over all of it.
In the face or
So
the
it's not really
alias
important to note, 'cause we
Facebook
already
account
noted it.
was taken in January. There is some criminal history in 2024 for a burglary. We're looking to see kind of where that was out of. I think it was out of Orange County, where he has a connection there. So at least the past 4 months here. But the in-depth breakdown of this, I don't know at this time, because all of this is fresh information coming out right now.
Do we know how the tow truck driver fits into this investigation? Do we know if he was also linked in any way to the suspects?
So we know that the tow truck driver is
Yeah, many people sent it to me, Barry. I got it all over the place. It wasn't just you, Barry. So no, I won't let everybody know that, Barry.
connected with this group, right? We have the 10 millimeter casings. We have some evidence that was collected by the Orange County Sheriff's Office there.
Hey, Barry, are you here just to watch the show, or are you trying to try to build some kind of credibility for yourself somehow? Because you keep interrupting the show with little comments like hey, it's important to note this, and hey, everybody. We've been covering it since the beginning. I've made videos on it explaining all the information in an easy, concise way. I mean, come on, Barry. Relax, man, all right?
They're taking primary focus on that investigation. We know that the green
God,
Acura was seen at that location,
comes
so there
LM
is
again.
clearly a connection here. But the scope of this update has no new updates with the tow truck driver since the last time I provided an update, I think a week ago today. Or actually on Monday is the last one.
You mentioned Catherine's brother was doing some sort of, or whoever the relative was, doing some sort of independent investigation. Is there any understanding of what sort of resources he might have at his disposal?
So what it appears, first of all, if your sister is gone missing or believed to be dead, and you're not working with the police on the investigation, you're doing your own independent, they call that a clue, right? It is incredibly out of the ordinary behavior. But what we think he was doing is tapping into her social media accounts, probably on a computer that was sharing the same iCloud account, where he could see any FaceTime calls or any communication she may have had. He looks at that, provides information on that, but screenshots a portion of the screen that shows an image of likely the last person who she spoke to, which is Giovanni. We forensically examine Lewis's phone after he gives it to us, and it's a larger picture where he's actually engaged in a screen time conversation. Typically, they'll...
Yeah, what's this deal about, they did a screen time, like their faces, FaceTime, whatever, and you can take a screenshot of it? I mean, what kind of an idiot criminal does that?
have the big picture of who you're talking to, and in a small corner there's a box.
Yeah, well, I think we should listen to the first part again. I know it's only 14 minutes long, but on this one I'll take notes so we have them sitting there. Because everything else I have down, I've got it all in I'll show you. It's right here. See, that's the, basically, this is enough to explain the rest of it.
Where it can show. He's talking to Giovanni. He says that Giovanni tells him that she was up here to deliver money and other stuff for a friend. And again, he's been cooperating. He's not a suspect in this crime, but his independent investigation initially did not involve police that we're aware of until we reached out, he contacted us, and we started having some of those conversations.
Why, though?
Then he's been sharing information to the extent of what he's comfortable with.
Have you been able to figure out how many times Catherine has traveled from Homestead to the Central Florida area in the past few months? Was this some sort of drug deal situation? Are you able to tell us?
So the question about the drug meal situation would be purely speculation on her involvement at this time. And we don't have any
Lewis is the brother of Catherine.
prior record of her ever being in Seminole County prior to being a victim of this crime. And I think that a lot of those questions will be answered when we can obtain records from various phones and various devices to be able to see exactly who she was calling, what the communication was, what those cameras on interstates will tell us about the unique characteristics of the vehicle that she was driving in. So to answer your question, as far as we know now, at this part of the investigation, we don't know of any other time that she's ever been in Seminole County other than this particular. That absolutely may change when we get evidence in.
On that note, do you know how they were able to track her down at either the gas station or right after, whenever they caught up to her?
Obviously, they knew exactly who was in that car. This was a targeted event. How long they followed her, how they tracked her down is still something that we're investigating right now. We don't know how far, how long, the methods that they would use, but with the success and the progress of this investigation, I'm sure we'll know those answers pretty quickly. But right now, at this point, we don't know.
Chief, is there any update about the involvement of the Orange County deputy in this situation?
The Orange County deputy situation, I think, is done from our perspective. We'll continue to look at his phone and computer to see if there's any pattern of doing this. But again, we charged him. We think that the charges are appropriate. We know that he's out on bond right now, but there's been no new updates in that case since Monday when I briefed you last.
Do you think the brother could become a target of whoever targeted his sister, and should he be seeking protection?
Well, I don't want to anticipate who's going to be a target. I know that there's some bad players and bad actors that are doing incredibly dangerous things with this. So I encourage anybody who feels like that they may be in harm's way to come to us for some level of protection. Tell us what you know. Contact Crime Line if you feel less comfortable coming to the police. So that's where we're at. So let me just kind of recap, because I know people will come in half.
This guy's kind of like Grady Judd Jr. I mean, in terms of like, he's just, boom, tells you everything.
Way through this, and some may not have heard the previous press conferences, but this is the third press conference. Investigative follow-up. We know that when our victim Catherine was traveling to Seminole County.
By the way, nice haircut there. I mean, what'd the guy do? Just take a pair of scissors and just go clang straight across? Looked like Frankenstein and Munster put together.
She was on the phone on a FaceTime type of call with a person now identified as Giovanni. Giovanni was identified through the use of technology to a faces imaging software program that basically looks at every booking image that has occurred and compares it to that. It matched at a 96.8% to a 2019 booking photo at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Giovanni lives at a location with his girlfriend, Soto, in Castleberry. We attained a search warrant after establishing probable cause, executed that search warrant, found trafficking amounts of fentanyl and one gun not believed related to this particular crime or the Orange County crime. At the same time that we were executing the search warrant, Soto accepted delivery with a controlled delivery from HSI after 3 kilos of cocaine was sent through the mail, sent to a location in Osceola County, and she went there and picked that up and was ultimately arrested for doing that. They're there. We're asking for the public's help and assistance with locating Giovanni. His name, his date of birth, and his photograph are on the screen right there. He is on the run. We want to know where he's at, and we want to bring him into custody. On the car side, the car was sold and never properly licensed with a license plate at a buy here, pay here dealership. A person who does not speak English walks in. He's with another person who is better with English, and they communicate the sale. He identifies himself during that encounter and leading up to that encounter with a Facebook profile that has an image of him appearing to wear the exact same thing that was seen on the video that was captured of the kidnapping that we've witnessed
time and time again. Can anybody find that profile? See if you guys can find that profile out there.
His name that he's used is Jordan LaTroy. He gives a phone number. The phone number matches a database back in Orange County in a burglary case, and the phone number comes back to a legitimate name, Jordanish Torres Garcia. And even the alias has some version of his legitimate name in that. He was arrested today afternoon on a federal violation of probation warrant for a gun charge, not for this case. We're listing him as a person of interest, as strong as you can get as a person of interest, and I'm sure that as evidence comes in, we will update what his status is and what we're actually calling him. So that's the update for today. I want to again thank our partners, both with the media, the local, state, and federal, and specifically thank the detectives of the Seminole County Sheriff's Office who quite literally have been working this nonstop. Sometimes we say that, it's a little embellished. They have been taking turns sleeping so they can work this case both day and night. And I think that when you look at the progress here and you compare it to progress that may have occurred with something across the country, and consider that really evidence of phones and all of this hasn't even come back yet, it's nothing short of something to be proud of. But this is something that our entire community is frightened by, and I want everyone to know how important this is to us to make sure that these people are held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. So with that, any other questions?
One more question. Are investigators concerned that the brother could potentially be tampering with evidence as he conducts his own investigation? Because you're saying he's accessing Catherine's social media, her iCloud account. I mean, you could be deleting things when you're accessing this stuff. Is there a concern there?
So no concern about tampering with evidence. The way it works is we have forensic examiners where people who think that they can erase it, you just don't erase it, right? We've got wonderful technology. Anybody who's an expert in this field knows that we have the ability to kind of piece things back together. So we feel incredibly comfortable with the evidence that we will be able to collect as it comes in. But at the same time, we still want to encourage people who know, look, these people are living lives, right? People who know about these individuals, who have seen things, who know things, we want them to step forward and provide whatever information they can.
And there was one more person in the car.
Yeah, we know,
case,
Dan.
right? There was potentially Jordan, the one in the sweater, and then somebody, a second suspect. Can you tell us anything more about that person?
I wish I could tell you more about the other person that was inside the car that was driving that car. We just don't.
Wait, are you saying there's a video of the actual incident? No, the person filming was in a car behind the green car. Right, I mean, it was obvious. I mean, you could see there's a green car and then that, you know. Yeah, I thought you were talking about... I don't know why you need to bring that up. Who's questioning that? It's so obvious. I mean, look, here it is. Look, everybody. See that? Look. I mean, see, there's a car here. Here's the dashboard. Then there's a green car there, and then there's a car in front of it. Boy, that was so funny, Miss Kitty. At least he's not wearing a visor. God, that's good. Man, you spent all day thinking of that one? That was awesome. Jesus. Yeah, okay. Then the U-turn. Wait, no U-turns, but they did one anyway. That's hilarious. No U-turns, but we're going to do one anyways. What do you mean, sorry, it was me? What do you mean, Danny? I don't get it.
Skeptical of their level of cooperation, right? But I'm still identifying them as witnesses and people who are working with us. They've never been listed as a person of interest. They've never been listed as a suspect. But I think that the court of popular opinion has come to their own conclusions about what they know.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you asked that question, Danny. It's pretty obvious. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Esther here. Hi, something, Esther.
We don't know what their involvement is, but as far as the investigation goes, I have not identified them as a person of interest or suspect in this case.
When you say Jordanish didn't speak any English, you know where he's from?
Jordan is from Puerto Rico, we believe. We know that his crimes were in Puerto Rico.
No, there's no fact.
We know that he had connections back there.
I explained it well enough in
but
the first
where
one.
he was
now
born,
just add on to this.
I'm not sure of right now. Likely Puerto Rico, but I don't know.
Can we get Soto's full name as well?
You probably
yes.
never watched the video, though, did you?
We're going to release it in a media pack. I don't have it right here in front of me. So with that, again, thank you. Any additional updates, we'll be happy to prepare that. And again, thank you for coming.
Yeah, okay, so let's listen to that first part again. Here we go.
Crime scenes, and we're still...
We've gone over it again. I'll do it again really quick for everybody. All right? Let's see. Catherine Aguas Vivas. She somehow drives from here all the way up, following this blue line up through Florida, all the way from southern Florida all the way to Orlando. And then she gets gas right there, and then she takes a right over here on Button Road, and then drives around like this and around, and then comes around, and then right in this area, a green vehicle, which is a, let's see, green 2002 Acura, starts ramming into her vehicle. All right, and then you just saw the video a second ago. They're right here at this light, just like that, and they do a U-turn because he wanted to go that way, but she's in the left turn lane. So he forced her to turn around, and they probably, I don't know if they went here, we don't really know, but eventually they came back out this direction, and then he had her drive all the way down this route like this in blue, all the way down here, and then eventually takes the Bogey Creek Road exit, which is actually not where I have this drawn. It's right here. So you come underneath here and you take that road and you get to this light, and then you drive here and you go underneath. Then you can get on Bogey Creek Road. But actually you would stay right here on the right. Yeah, Bogey Creek, and then go underneath the freeway again. And then apparently somewhere like around in this area, the vehicle was shot up, burned, and she was killed inside that car right after that abduction. All right. Just before her car was being rammed, she called her husband Miguel. Try to pay attention, everybody. You can do it. She called her husband Miguel to say, hey, my car's being rammed. And he said, don't stop your car. Well, obviously, 2 minutes later, she stops her car. So we don't know if that's what he really told her. But anyways, neither of them called 911. And then she was abducted and killed. The green vehicle that you see in the video that's behind the car there, the green vehicle that you see there behind her car, was a vehicle that was purchased from, just sort of like this random, they just explained it in here, cash kind of deal. You buy the car as is, sort of. You buy it. But in March, that was in February, in March of, I think it was March, what was the date again? March 16th, something like that. The vehicle was towed from an apartment complex because it was parked illegally. Okay, everybody pay attention, Zozo. The car was parked illegally, so it was towed away. Then on April 10th, that tow truck driver was killed by the same people. There was a green car driving around, right? And then right after that, just a second. I don't know. So right after that, that's when this abduction happened right here, okay? The abduction that you just saw happened the day after the tow truck driver was killed. Yeah. Are you guys all following along there? And thanks, LM, and the snarky comment as well. Thank you so much. Are you all following along? I don't want to repeat it again. Okay, right. So the tow truck driver was killed the day before for some unknown reason. We don't know. So if we go back in time, I guess forward in time, a day after the abduction happened, the detective called the phone number on the back of Catherine Aguas Vivas's vehicle, and it went to her husband because they're trying to sell the car. Then Miguel and Catherine's brother, Louis, agreed to meet them in Seminole County. And on the drive up to meet the detective in Seminole County, they called a family friend whose brother happened to be a Orange County police officer. And then that police officer accessed the David system and looked up the detective who called, which is really strange. Were they going to look her up to kill her too, just like they looked up the tow truck driver? All these different things, as we said the other day. So that was crazy. And then they arrested that police officer for doing that. And is there anything else on that? I think that's about it. But also, Miguel told police that, that Catherine was driving up to Orange County, Seminole County, to visit family members. And originally they said they could find no family members, but now they've located a couple family members, but none of them were expecting her. So it was still a lie, a complete lie. They also didn't call 911 when she was being rammed by that vehicle. So it makes you think that they were doing something nefarious too. I think it's going to come out that she was doing something nefarious too, because why wouldn't Miguel and everybody just go, hey, get the call the cops, call the cops? They didn't do that. They didn't do that at all. Ah, Jesus. Here we go again. All right, so I'm going to play the... let's play this now. So now this is where we are on the update. Are you getting a lot of ads? Jesus. Well, I'm going to need them based on what's going on tonight.
Waiting for a lot of that information to come back. We knew that initially Catherine had been traveling north from Homestead. I think the initial report that we had relayed to you about complicated and sophisticated cases like this have been absolutely correct. Over the past week, our detectives have been working with our judiciary, subpoenaing records from phones, other pieces of evidence, video evidence from crime scenes, and we're still waiting for a lot of that information to come back. We knew that initially Catherine had been traveling north from Homestead. I think the initial report that we had relayed to you that her husband, Miguel, had provided information to our detectives initially that she was coming up to visit family members. We said at the time we did not know of any family members that were located in the area. We've since located at least 2 family members, but neither one of them were expecting a visit from Catherine at the time. When she was on her way traveling up here, probably around 4 p.m. in the afternoon, when she was probably in the area of downtown Orlando on I-4, there was likely a communication, a phone call that occurred through a FaceTime communication. We had reported that the husband, Miguel, had provided his phone and was cooperative, but we thought that there was a lot of details that he was leaving out, is what I said at the last news conference. Her brother, Louis, has also been providing information and also gave his telephone up voluntarily for forensic examination, and actually was conducting, by his words, his own independent investigation. He did not contact law enforcement to do that, but he reached out from a computer that was connected to an iPhone through an iCloud account and found a contact that looked like it was the last person that Catherine had spoken with.
Okay, so that means that he got a hold of Catherine's iCloud account and got a hold of the last person that she contacted. So he was doing his own investigation and accessed Catherine's iCloud account and found the last person that Catherine was in communication with, which is strange because you think that would have been Miguel, which I'm going to actually put that in my notes, which is strange since you would think that was Miguel. Now, did the kidnappers have her call somebody? I mean, that's pretty crazy.
And then, by his report, he called that person and he said he did not know who that person was. He screenshotted an image of the person that he called. We have later identified that person. I'm going to call him Giovanni for now. There's going to be a lot of names here, but I'm going to call him Giovanni. We'll release his full name at the conclusion of this press conference.
That's sort of interesting because it almost seems like, I mean, how come there was video on this call? I mean, that's pretty weird, isn't it? Strange.
He takes a still photo, does not know who the person is, and sends it to our detectives. The forensic examination of his phone shows a greater picture of not only the person that he sent us the photograph of, but he was actually in FaceTime. So it's a FaceTime photograph of Lewis talking with this person who we now know to be Giovanni.
Okay. FaceTime, so it was screenshotted the person on the FaceTime call. The screenshot showed Lewis and a person named Giovanni. This is nuts, you know.
We identify Giovanni by taking the photograph that is contained in the image that is released, running it through a database called Faces that's run in Pinellas County by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, and it matches with 98.6% a 2019 arrest in Orange County, a booking image
hold on.
that identifies the person. 0.6 points. We identify Giovanni by taking the photograph that is contained in the image that is released, running it through a database called Faces that's run in Pinellas County by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, and it matches with 98.6% a 2019 arrest in Orange County, a booking image that identifies the person as Giovanni.
And what was that?
Giovanni
2000
and 0.6% a 2019 arrest in Orange County, a booking image that identifies the person as Giovanni. Giovanni and his girlfriend, will use her last name for this, as Soto. They reside in Castleberry. As detectives are awaiting a lot of the investigative reports to come back on the phone tolls, photographs, 417 cameras, all of these things, we ultimately, through surveillance, established probable cause to conduct a search warrant of the home in Castleberry. They reside in Castleberry. We identify Giovanni by taking the photograph that is contained in the image that is released,
That's just nuts.
running it through a database called Faces that's run in Pinellas County by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, and it matches with 98.6% a 2019 arrest in Orange County, a booking image that identifies the person as Giovanni. Giovanni and his girlfriend, will use her last name for this, as Soto. They reside in Castleberry. As detectives are awaiting a lot of the investigative reports to come back on the phone tolls, photographs, 417 cameras, all of these things, we ultimately, through surveillance, established probable cause to conduct a search warrant of the home in Castleberry where Giovanni and his girlfriend Soto live. We conduct the search warrant after Giovanni and Soto leave the residence. We go inside and ultimately find fentanyl, a gun, the gun not a 10 millimeter, and likely not related to this particular crime. And ultimately, Giovanni is facing charges for that. While we're conducting the search warrant, we get contacted by our federal partners at HSI that Soto, the girlfriend of Giovanni, and an occupant of the house in Castleberry that we're executing a search warrant on, takes and accepts delivery of 3 kilos of cocaine after it was mailed in through the mail, United States Postal Service.
Hold on.
For that. While we're conducting the search warrant, we get contacted by our federal partners at HSI that Soto, the girlfriend of Giovanni, and an occupant of the house in Castleberry that we're executing a search warrant
hold
on.
I gotta get that part again.
For that.
Jesus. So
while we're conducting the search warrant, we get contacted by our federal partners at HSI that Soto, the girlfriend of Giovanni, and an occupant of the house in Castleberry that we're executing a search warrant on, takes and accepts delivery of 3 kilos of cocaine after it was mailed in through the mail. United States Postal Service intercepted that. A delivery was made in Osceola County, where Soto collects that delivery. She is arrested, facing federal charges, and currently incarcerated in Osceola County under a federal hold looking at that.
And so where's she getting the delivery at? Jeez.
Soto collects that delivery.
Where?
She is arrested, executing a search warrant on, takes and accepts delivery of 3 kilos of cocaine after it was mailed in through the mail. United States Postal Service intercepted that. A delivery was made in Osceola County, where Soto collects that delivery. She is arrested.
All right, hold on. So I got federal partners, Soto, an occupant in the house takes possession of 3 kilos of coke via the mail. This just goes so wild. But hey, guys, I've typed it in many times. And if you guys can help support the channel tonight, that'd be absolutely great. Just trying to, keep the channel going, and allows us to be able to do all the great stuff that we do. All right, so if you're able to, I would appreciate your support. Thank you.
Soto collects that delivery. She is arrested, facing federal charges, and currently incarcerated in Osceola County under a federal hold looking at that. Giovanni is facing Seminole County charges of trafficking fentanyl, and then we will release specific details and ask for the public's assistance to help us locate him. We've got his photo. We're going to put a photo up on the screen later in this news conference. Going back to the vehicle, I said that the green Acura was incredibly unique. There were 3 in the state, 2 were salvaged. There was only 1 that was out there, but there was no license plate on the Acura. In a previous news conference, I said it was legitimately owned by a family in Castleberry. They sold it to a dealership or traded it at a dealership. It went to an auto auction and then ultimately ended up in a buy here, pay here that does a lot of their marketing and sales on. Back to the vehicle. I said that these of trafficking fentanyl, and then we will release specific details and ask for the public's assistance to help us locate him. We've got his photo. We're going to put a photo up on the screen later in this news conference. Going back to the vehicle, I said that the green Acura was incredibly unique. There were 3 in the state, 2 were salvaged. There was only 1 that was out there, but there was no license plate on the Acura. In a previous news conference, I said it was legitimately owned by a family in Castleberry. They sold it to a dealership or traded it at a dealership. It went to an auto auction and then ultimately ended up in a buy here, pay here that does a lot of their marketing and sales on Facebook Marketplace. When they post that on Facebook Marketplace, a person with a profile name of Jordan LaTroy reaches out, does not speak English, and then ultimately shows up at the car dealership to purchase that green Acura. The profile photograph on the Facebook profile that's used to communicate with the buy here, pay here dealership, we'll put it.
You got to admit, has anybody found that profile? Let's see. On Facebook, Jordan, is it like, you think it's L-E Troy, or? Come on, where is it? Jeez. Thank you, Donna. Appreciate it. Jordan LaTroy. Jordan. I already did try the LaTroy like that. I didn't see it. Well, there's a LaTroy Jordan. Oh, that might be him. Because there's the first picture is like with a balaclava on. I mean, what are the odds that that isn't? Let's see, photos. This one says LaTroy Jordan. I don't know if that's the same person, but yeah, we know that. We've watched the video already, Olga. I'm just trying to find this. Jordan LaTroy, right? That's what they said. Let me go back again.
To purchase that green Acura. The profile photograph on the Facebook profile that's used to communicate with the buy here, pay here dealership, we'll put an image. When they post that on Facebook Marketplace, a person with a profile name of Jordan LaTroy reaches out, does not speak English, and then ultimately shows up at the car dealership to purchase that green Acura. The profile photograph on the Facebook profile that's used to communicate with the buy here, pay here dealership, we'll put an image up on the screen here of that profile picture. Back one slide. And you can see.
Yeah, I can't find that one. I mean, I found another person, but it's like the name's backwards. Anybody see it? I mean, that's obviously the same person. That's even the same shirt. Look at A, and then whatever I, or whatever the hell that is over there. It's the same everything.
It appears that the profile picture taken in January is somebody wearing exactly the same clothes, Danny, or what appears to be exactly the same clothes as our shooter. A backtrack of a phone number that is given with the purchase of the green Acura. And I remember I had said in the previous news conference that the purchaser never came back to finalize the deal, is why there was no tag ever registered to the vehicle. A phone number that was used in that community.
Hey, look at that. It's Teresa Clay's first super on a live stream. Thank you.
Communication links back through an Orange County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, hold on. I got to go back.
The purchaser never came back to finalize the deal, is why there was no tag ever registered to the vehicle. A phone number that was used in that communication links back through an Orange County Sheriff's Office burglary report of somebody with the name of Jordanish Torres Garcia. We'll put his photograph up there. Jordanish Torres Garcia. Again, the name used in that profile is Jordan LaTroy.
I don't understand
of
that
somebody.
What is he saying right here? Like, let's see.
The purchaser never came back to finalize the deal, is why there was no tag ever registered to the vehicle.
Right.
A phone number that was used in that communication links back through an Orange County Sheriff's Office burglary report of somebody with the name of Jordanish Torres Garcia.
Well, is that the same person? You know, Jordan LaTroy and then Jordanish? I mean, is that like he just made up Jordanish LaTroy? I mean, I don't know.
We'll put his photograph up there. Jordanish Torres Garcia. Again, the name used in that profile is Jordan LaTroy. The phone the phone number that he uses links back to his legitimate legal name, Jordanish Torres Garcia, or as he goes by, Jordan, 28 years old. He had an active felony warrant for weapons possession, and with the assistance of the U.S. Marshals, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, we now have him in custody here at the Sheriff's Office. We arrested him in Orange County as he was walking in to a business on Orange Avenue, south of I think it's Oak Ridge, a couple miles south of Oak Ridge. And this photograph is a photograph that was taken at the time of the arrest, just after noon today. Again, he is here at our office being interviewed for his connection in this crime. Now, back to the comparison of photographs, please. We can go back to that. I'm identifying him as a person of interest because when it comes to legal cases, that's probably the safest thing to call him. But his phone number is matching the phone number that was given with the person who purchased the green Acura.
Yeah, there you go. So.
The profile that is connected to him, the image on the right, or in front of what looks like a location, a tourist location in Orlando, is the profile image that he has had up there since January, and then of course the photograph of the crime scene of what he's wearing looks to me like it's identical, right? So I don't know how strong you can emphasize a person of interest. He's not going to be released. He has federal charges that he's going to be held on, and this investigation will continue. All of this is without yet getting the tolls and the records that we have subpoenaed out there. We still don't know yet who the other occupant in the green Acura is. We'll continue to work that angle of the investigation, but again, this is great police work, great investigative follow-up, a collaboration between the FBI, the DEA, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, HSI, and our media partners who have been doing an outstanding job keeping this on the forefront of everyone's attention, front and center of what's going on. The communication that Lewis has provided us was less than forthcoming. Still, Lewis and Miguel being the husband, Lewis being the brother, are not suspects. We're not charging them at this time. But there again, Lewis's communication with us.
Well, I don't think there's well, at this point, it's hard to say that there's suspects in the case, like in terms of the murder, but they're obviously up to no good as well. I mean, and that's my opinion, that they're part of something else, and that's probably what got the, Catherine in trouble, etc.
Was that he talked to this person on the phone, which we now know to be Giovanni. He tells us, Lewis tells us, that Giovanni says that Catherine was up here to deliver money and other stuff for a friend. Now, again, I'm not going to speculate, but he says to us she was up here to deliver money and other stuff.
Oh, wow, okay. Now we hear that part. So hold on, let me put that in there. Lewis says that Catherine drove up to deliver money and other stuff, i.e. drugs. Okay.
For a friend. And again.
And here's the thing is, those people probably knew that they were driving that stuff up and hijacked her to get the money and then killed her.
Person of interest, Jordan Torres Garcia, is in custody here at the sheriff's office, is being interviewed right now by detectives. The other person of interest we're looking for is Giovanni. We'll release Giovanni's full information and we will have media packets that kind of summarize as much as we can. Again, incredibly complicated investigation that has twists and turns, but in just about a week, I think that there's great progress in this investigation without getting a lot of the court documents and records back yet. When those records come back, I think it's going to be able to put a lot of the pieces of the puzzle that are still outstanding together. So with that, again, this is an ongoing investigation. I will try to answer as many questions as I can possibly answer.
All right, anyways.
Before Catherine was
All right.
targeted in this.
So there you go. We'll just, that's it. We already listened to it twice, that part. Got all the notes down. Lewis, Catherine's brother, gave his phone up for forensic examination. He was doing his own investigation and accessed Catherine's iCloud account. She's the one that was murdered. And found the last person that Catherine was in communication with, which is strange since you would think that that was Miguel, but he found somebody else. He called that person and didn't know that person, who that person was. He screenshotted the person on the FaceTime call. The screenshot showed Lewis and a person named Giovanni. He took photograph, and law enforcement took the photograph and ran it through a database called Faces, and it matched to 98.6% to a booking image to a 2019 arrest and a person named Giovanni. Giovanni and his girlfriend Soto reside in Castleberry. Probable cause was established to search this home in Castleberry. Law enforcement go inside and find fentanyl and a gun not related to the crime. While conducting search warrant, federal partners, HSI, Soto, and a occupant of the house takes possession of 3 kilos of coke via mail. Soto collect the delivery of it and is arrested. Giovanni is facing Seminole County trafficking of fentanyl. The Acura was sold to a dealership, then auction, then to a buy here, pay here, and sells on Facebook Marketplace. On Facebook Marketplace, a person by the name of Jordan LaTroy responds and shows. So right now we still don't have a connection between like Jordan LaTroy and Soto, etc. Right? So there's got to be a connection somehow. Like they are these people that went to go rob. So it might be that Soto and people in that house, Giovanni and Soto, had LaTroy stop the car that Catherine was in first to just steal the money. Yeah, so that's about it. But hey, guys, if you're out there, I really appreciate you guys' support. We try to raise funds every single night on the channel to help support the channel. And tonight's one of those struggles again. So if you're out there, that'd be great. Thank you. Yeah, this is like the third Soto. It's a pretty common name. It's like Johnson. Probably. I'm sure the husband was probably involved somehow. Giovanni had to know Jordan. Right, I just said that. Yeah, so there must be some connection where he had them go do that. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. So much stuff going on. I got to know the connection between the tow truck driver, though. Like, why did they take the time to go kill him weeks later for merely towing his truck? Did he take something out of that and give it to Miguel? Like, did the tow truck driver and Miguel know each other? That's something I'm interested in. Anybody hear what I said a second ago? Anyways, so what we're going to do now is we're going to turn up the turn on the phones, and you guys can call in about any of these cases we're talking about. We'll see how long this goes. An email about what? Yeah, we already knew that. Yeah. I'm not sure what the email is about, Donna. Is it related to this case? Sure where that is. I don't see it. Oh, right there. Weird how the phone would ring when the number wasn't even on the screen. Isn't that weird? Crazy. I'll look at it some other time. But anyways, let's see. Well, I don't really have much more to offer tonight, you guys, so I'm going to call it a night. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for the people who found me worthy to send in super chats. Lisa Valenzuela, Tree, 1L Michelle, Julie S, new member, Brown Eyed Girl. Hold on, let me see what this is. Hello, who's this? Okay, yeah, that's the cue to call it a night. All right, thank you, Amber Maiden, Natalie from California, Osiris Stewart, Donna Aldridge, Paulette Leonard, hi Esther, Tawny Lee, Pebs W, Donna Aldridge, Teresa Clay, and Barry Tired. All right, thanks everybody. See you guys next time. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gregor's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector.